everybody out there. This is Akkaiidan Azeroth with Knights of the Round Table podcast. And today here in the studio with us, we have a special guest. What's up, BlueAussie?
Hey, what's going on, mate?
Not a lot, man. We also have Iceilla, Mios, and RoseKitty. What's up, y'all?
Hey, how you doing?
Yeah.
How you doing?
So, who wants to carry out this conversation to just get it started? We can talk about whatever.
Oh, I think maybe the Pitts Family Circus. We might get back started on that.
We try to keep it to video game stuff.
Yeah, not a problem, mate. Just having a bit of a joke.
Yeah, I got it. So, Blue, what's your favorite style of game?
More or less driving games. Very, very, very limited on shooting games and all that sort of stuff. My Steam account has very, very few games, so I'm a very, very picky person when it comes to games.
I can understand that.
Yeah, what about you, Iceilla? What's your favorite style?
Really depends on my mood, but to be honest, it's anything with either a good story or that has bits of touch of history in it.
Sounds fun. What about you, Mios?
I'm a huge fan of strategy games. I like some shooters, but I'm picky. I can be picky with shooters as well. There's the odd game here and there that doesn't normally fit in my profile as something I would like, but I end up liking it, like, say, Minecraft.
Ah, gotcha. And Rose, what about you?
Oh, I think probably any game that has a ton of story and choice to it. Like, I loved, what was it named? You have it. The game where you make all the decisions. Sorry, I feel like Undertale. There we go. Blonde moment. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Sounds fun. For me, I love anything with a great story. It doesn't matter if it's a role-playing game like World of Warcraft, like an MMORPG, or if it's, something like GTA 5 single player. The story has to be just top-notch, unless it's something like Minecraft or whatever. If it's a sandbox, those are great too. I just love the diversity of different games. I play a little bit of everything. I've got a humongous Steam library, and most of the games I've never even played, but a lot of them I have.
Story can really make or break a game. I feel like this is true.
I started playing Saints Row 4, the re-elected DLC. And that game, the story is just over the top ridiculous, but everything about that game is just ridiculous, but it's fun. And so it kind of makes up for it.
Game fun.
Just over the top ridiculous. I was running around doing, The Rock from like wrestling, running around doing his move on just random strangers. Just funny.
It does sound funny. Random too.
Yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
No, you're good. I was thinking that with video games as well, if the story feels like what you do matters, or you can laugh your butts off at it, feels like that's the kind of game to go with. Something that's either memorable or that, it's not just every decision you make. There are only 3 endings, though.
So, Aussie, when you say you like a good driver game, what is your absolute all-time favorite? Could be from 1980 up until current.
Oh, for back in the day, it was a really, really good game, and I really got hooked on it. Even the storyline, it was awesome. It was Driver.
I remember Driver.
PlayStation 1, yeah, PlayStation 1 it was on, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, and then Driver 2 was on PS2, right?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was, but just I don't know, just for the time and the era of just Driver, the original one, you can never beat the original. But your Driver 2, when that came out, I'm pretty sure that's the one where you could get out of the car, you could walk around and all that sort of stuff. Where Driver you couldn't. But yeah, no, it was just the storyline and just the things that you can do with the car and. It was pretty advanced for its time, and as soon as I seen a trailer for it, I wanted it, so to speak, and got it when it came out, and yeah, it was awesome, man. I was hooked on it. I was playing it every day, and you guys know what it's like when you get a new game that you've been looking forward to playing, it was.
You lose all track of time, and you'll play it for 3 days straight.
Yeah, that's perfectly worded.
So, what about you, Sel?
What, my favorite game?
All-time favorite?
It's a tie between two. I have two different ones.
Go for it. Which ones?
Jak and Daxter, the whole series, except for Jak Final Frontier. That game does not exist as far as I'm concerned. But Jak and Daxter, the whole series, or the Uncharted series. Those two are pretty neck and neck for me.
Uncharted is pretty good. I like Uncharted. What about you, Mios?
For me, hands down, I probably mentioned it before, Homeworld. The story was compelling. Even the music was compelling. The gameplay was amazing. It was one of the first space RTS games that had three-dimensional motion for fleets. Like you could instead of just being on a flat plane, the ships moved in 3 dimensions, and the story really like pulled you in and almost even like tugged at your heartstrings a little bit.
I never did play Homeworld, but I played Eve and a few other games similar to it. Definitely awesome genre all the way around. What about you, Rose?
Oh, honestly, it's a tie for me between two games, and I know they're dramatically different, but I don't care. Lost Vikings 2 or Myst. One of those is the first tie, and the other, absolutely Fractured Butthole.
Every time you say that name, I have to laugh. You realize that, right?
It's just such a great game, though. It's got the the little bit of fun JRPG style combat. You can move right. It's like Fire Emblem, but sarcastic and well, just that kind of laughing at things humor because you need it, and that's why I love the Lost Vikings too. I would love Scorch and Fang to be in Heroes of the Storm because it's just so much fun.
For me, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, you're good. What's yours?
For me, my all-time favorite. And this is just going to show that I'm definitely an over-the-top nerd. The original Zelda.
Oh,
hands
yes.
down, my favorite.
Yes. Is it still the only game that's been given that rating? What's the rating? I think it's a 99.6 or something like that out of 100.
Something like that. I'll check it real quick.
Yeah. For back then, I mean, like there's games that don't even come close to that sort of a rating. It's still a good game. Yeah.
Oh, go ahead, sir.
No, you go ahead.
Oh, I was just joking. I actually have the original NES cartridge that still saves too. They built those things incredibly well. And it's just a fun, great game.
I feel so bad I've never played it.
It actually got a 97 Metascore out of 100.
Yeah.
And it's the only game in history to ever score that high.
Yeah, that's correct. I knew it was something ridiculous, but yeah.
It's a classic style again. It's like Asteroids. It just holds one of those benchmarks.
Asteroids. That was my dad's favorite.
I remember Asteroids. It was fun. Lots of hours on that game.
Lots of turning a joystick and pushing one button.
I really wish I remembered the first game I watched my dad play. It was some type of piloting game. And believe it or not, I never knew my dad was a gamer until I went to my aunt's last week and I found out that she still had his old controllers, like the old joystick.
Like Atari.
The old expensive computer joystick for the computers.
Oh, we did
Yeah,
play
I remember those.
He had one of those, and she still had it. It sadly does not work. I wish it did, but it does not work.
Crimson Skies was a good one.
All right, so random question to anybody and everybody. If you could create a over-the-top, outrageously unbelievable game, what would you name it? Anybody can answer first.
Well, when you say unbelievable outrageous, are you talking like raunchy outrageous, or just one
Any
of those?
text. Fill in the blanks.
I was not prepared for this question.
Neither was I.
Oh boy, maybe.
Soul Escape.
Okay. What's it about?
Yeah, do tell.
It's one of those games that are meant to frustrate the player, and to the point there's no clock in it, so you have no idea how long you're actually playing for unless you actually look at the clock. And it's just one of those games that you continue to get lost in and lost in. It's a puzzle game. And every time you think you're close to winning, you don't.
What about you, Mios?
Like I said, I was woefully unprepared for this question.
All right, so if you could create any style of driving game, what would it be? I'll refine it down a little bit.
Mine was already taken, so I can't.
Twisted Metal.
Twisted Metal, that was a fun one.
Jack X Combat Racing.
Ooh.
I've got one. It's a forklift simulator.
Oh, nice. Bring your work home, huh?
Man, yeah. The truck drivers already done it with American Truck Simulator, so why can't the forklift drivers do it?
Absolutely.
I got it. A VR race game that uses a pogo stick called Angry Walrus and the Squirrel Brigade. And the entire point is to outrun the psychotic being that's trying to swallow you through the VR goggles.
I've got one.
Yeah, pogo sticks in VR. That sounds like that's gonna end great.
Totally.
I've got one. And I don't have a name for it, but I've got the idea in my head. Your character is a lawn gnome that's small enough to ride a squirrel. The driving part is catching the squirrel and riding it through treetops and rooftops.
I think there's actually a movie about that.
Never seen it or even heard about it, but sounds cool.
There's a lawn gnome movie.
Is there?
There's two.
Yep. Yeah,
Romeo and Juliet is the first one.
And Sherlock Gnomes.
Yes, it's the second one. The gnome puns.
Oh, wow.
It gives me an idea for a game that involves mythological creatures trying to get by without being noticed by humans, though.
Ah. All right. So if Blue, if you were to make your forklift simulator, what would be one of the perks that you would offer?
Let me think. Maybe. Well, you could. Yeah, I don't know. It's a hard question, mate. You got me there.
You get an air conditioner and a fan as an upgrade.
Maybe a
I don't know.
radio.
Put like CB radio, obviously. A bit of a multiplayer thing as well, where you could have your own business, a logistics business, and
Fight each
your
other
goal
over
is
boxes.
to get. Well, your goal is to get how many ever trucks out out of your warehouse, like within the week's time span, or because with logistics and all that sort of stuff, it's all about time and meeting the demand of customers and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, I think that might be the way to go with the perks and all that.
It's actually a really good answer. What about you, Iceilla?
How about mine?
Yep. What kind of perks would you add to your game, your driving game? Well, actually, the Soul Escape. Sorry.
No problem. Probably a hint button. Definitely a hint
you gotta have that
button.
if you're doing a puzzle game.
A hint button and a cheat room. You can either you find this hidden room where you can either jump ahead a few rooms or it takes you right back to the beginning.
Shoots and Ladders Gaming Edition.
I just heard a whole slew of people are probably going to be growling at me.
When
Yeah.
Rose said that, the Chutes and Ladders, I heard something totally different, y'all. I heard something and ladders. I was like, what?
You might want to get your head out of the gutter.
Shits and ladders. This sounds like a really terrible
Yep.
game.
Well, see, I wasn't going to say it because of YouTube monetization and all, but okay.
Yeah, but with their changeover to it's like, it's not for kids, it is for kids. We're not for kids because we talk about video games, which generally are rated T and, so not for small children. So, yeah. I
Yep.
chalk it up to
Yeah.
PG-13 rules.
Yeah, exactly. There we go.
It's how it seems to fit.
We're allowed to curse at least once.
Oh, yeah.
And I
So
think
what
as
about
long
you,
as we
Rose?
drop the... Me?
Oh, sorry.
Oh,
Yep.
no, you're good.
What perk would you add to your game? Your perfect driving game?
Bonus points for knowing how to use your damn turn signal.
Well, that's not really a perk. That would fall under the scoring.
Yes, but if people make it its own separate thing that if you use your turn signal correctly, you get something out of it. Like maybe more bonuses to your vehicle or anything. Because if nothing else, it would transfer the idea of using your turn signal into the real world.
That's called social engineering, and that scares me.
Yep, me too.
It beats the crap out of trying to break out the Ouija board just to figure out whether or not the 85-year-old in front of you is going to go left in the right-hand turn lane.
You know what perk I would add to my squirrel riding simulator? A button that pops up out of the squirrel's neck when you hit a certain speed, and you push the button and the squirrel farts and goes faster.
Gee.
You could get an upgrade that makes it a flying squirrel and you can glide from tree to tree.
Yeah, but you have to use the NOS boosters first.
You still have to use the squirrel fart.
I could just see so many people right now going, well, we're going to develop that game since no one else is going to do it right now.
It's going to be the best thing since Goat Simulator. Get on it.
We'll be their brainstormers.
Right?
I think you're all nuts.
All right, next round. If you
Well, we
could
are
add
talking
your-
about squirrels, so we have to be a little nuts.
Oh, yeah.
Uh,
So for the next round, the question is, what achievement would you add to your game? Blue, would you like to lead off?
yeah, what sort of achievement do you mean by? I mean,
Like, what
Is it
achievement?
like
What would you name one of your achievements?
oh yeah, I understand now. It's that's you got me again, Pitts. You got me again, mate. That's really hard. For an achievement.
You could have one for a number of boxes lifted.
Yeah, but he has to name the achievement, not for what it would be for.
Yeah, it's the actual name of it. So maybe golden forklift.
Golden forklift, cool deal.
Yeah.
It would be for like lifting 100,000 boxes or pallets.
Yeah, 100 there, or loading a certain amount of trucks or something like that.
I gotcha. And so, what about you? What would you name one of your achievements?
Let me think here. I would probably name it something like, and then we start at the beginning again. Just for
That sounded very, very cheerful. Can you do that again?
and then we start at the beginning again. I know my singing's absolutely atrocious. I apologize.
I think you're fine.
Hey, it got a smile out of me, so it works.
There you go.
What about
Very
you,
true.
Mios? Same question.
One of my achievements would be called Red Cap.
Red Cat, cool deal. And what would, just by chance, what would you have to do for that?
Red Cap is a kind of little goblin. So, according to the lore of Red Caps, you would have to kill someone as a goblin without anyone knowing. Then you become a Red Cap.
Ah, good one. Rose, what about an achievement name for your game?
For a driving game, I'd probably call it Skips with Skizzers. Win a race within 5th place while doing as much damage to your vehicle as possible without getting to it to explode.
Ah, very cool. You know what I would add to my game for an achievement? It would be called the Nut Protector. And basically, every time you win a race, it protects the amount of nuts that you have because you're collecting nuts to buy upgrades for your squirrel. And if you lose a race, you lose your nuts.
I was about to
I
say,
can't
are you
talk about
really
this without
going crazy
laughing.
with a straight face?
But if you lose a race, you lose your nuts. If you win, 20 races in a row, you get the achievement, the Nut Protector.
I was really trying to say, are you really trying to say that with a straight face on the first go? I was going to be impressed.
All right, so you got any similar styled questions?
I was actually wondering, Blue, what got you into racing games? Like driving games and stuff like that. What got you into them?
Maybe I don't know. It's pretty weird. You see, when I was a kid, my parents used to just get me like rally games and all that sort of stuff for the PlayStation, and it just carried on from there. Like they bought me a steering wheel with pedals and all that sort of stuff for Christmas, and I remember having Destruction Derby as a game as well. It was just mainly driving games that they used to buy me, so I just got hooked that way.
I got you.
Mm.
What about you, Pitts? What got you into your type of favorite games?
Well, as a kid, pretty much I spent a lot of time at home alone as a little kid, and my best friend turned into, well, at first it was a Commodore 64, and then I ended up upgrading that to a Nintendo, the big rectangular game cartridges. And so that's where I started playing games at a very, very young age. And as I grew up, I just never grew out of playing games. And I actually found a bunch of them that I really, really like.
Cool.
What about you, Iceilla?
What got me into mine? I would have to say it was literally the luck of the draw. I was actually not supposed to be a gamer. The only reason I ever became a gamer was because an eye doctor told my parents to buy me a video game to fix a problem that I had with my eyes. I basically had a lazy eye, and the game actually helped fix my correction, so my eye didn't wander anymore. And so from there, I just started being a gamer. So I got a game of every single type, and I just ended up falling in love with the adventure-esque style. Being able to go somewhere new that I've never been before.
Ah, cool.
What about you, Rose?
Honestly, that would have to be Myst for me, as it was one of the first games I ever played. It was very much problem-solving-esque, and you had to think outside the box to figure out the game, and so that's what I've always enjoyed doing, is trying to figure out how to work my way outside the box.
Oh, that's really interesting. What about you, Mios?
Me, I don't really remember what first got me into it. Pretty much just since I was old enough to even hold a controller, I had one in my hand. I think it was just honestly watching my brother and my dad play video games on the old Nintendos. And of course, being a little kid, I wanted to do what they were doing. So they'd give me a little unplugged controller and let me think I was playing video games.
There you go.
Was hooked from there.
That's really cool.
All right. And so, guys, on that note, we're going to go ahead and wrap up. Thank you so much for listening, everybody out there. If you're new to the podcast and this is your first time listening, feel free to hit that like button, leave us a comment. One of us will get back to you. You can also hit the subscribe button, click the bell, and set up notifications that way. There, when we upload new content, you'll be one of the first people to hear about it. Thank you so much for listening. BlueAussie, thank you so much for joining in with us today. I hope it's been a good experience.
Yeah, no, not a problem, guys. It was a good experience, and I enjoyed it thoroughly, and hope to come back again and have another chat. It was good.
Alrighty.
Yeah, thanks so much for joining us. It was fun.
Indeed.
For sure.
All right. So for Knights of the Round Table podcast, see y'all next time.
Happy hunting.
Bye.
Y'all come back now.